Hey, and welcome to the show, Ted Vigil. Great to have you on the show once again. Always a pleasure. Always fun talking with you. How are you?
I'm doing great, man.
Yeah, so looking forward to talking to you again on this broadcast. We're so looking forward to having you here back in Long Island, Theater 3, Port Jeff, Saturday, July 6th, 8 p.m., one night only. The show is always fantastic. Are you excited about coming back into town?
Oh boy, I really am, and I have a fabulous guitar player singer with me, Roberta Fabiano. She'll be there with me on stage, and she's a great singer and guitar player. So it's going to be a fun show.
Absolutely. It's always so great to have you back in town. I know Theater 3 is always a fun show for you, and the crowd is always unbelievable. You know, they are so into the show, so many John Denver fans, right? Tell us about the crowd and the audience. I mean, it's always so great for you there at Theater 3, right?
It really is. I think that especially there and theaters that size, people want to come and they want to sing, they want to interact with the show. And so I try to bring that to them, give them lots of opportunities to sing along. We do some call and answer stuff, a couple John Prine songs and things like that that are also a lot of fun.
Right. I know you also have a really good time with Grandma's Featherbed when you're there.
Yeah.
You get the audience involved a little bit.
Yeah, so well, typically I get a few people up on stage to do Grandma's Featherbed, and it's soft as a downy chicken. I get a chicken, and then there's the 4 hound dogs. Oh, and of course the piggy we stole from the shed. So yeah, it's a lot of laughs. People love it.
And of course, you're an amazing songwriter and singer yourself, and you've been performing since you were like 10 years old, right?
Yeah, I started singing when I was a little kid. My mom played piano and sang, and we were always doing sing-alongs in the car. And then I started playing drums at a young age and went into a band, and then started singing and got in rock bands and as a teenager. And then as I got in my older years, although I'm still young, as I got in my older years, I got into all kinds of different music. And John Denver Tribute Show changed my life. So I'm really grateful to be doing it.
I know you're a big Beatles fan. I know your mom was a real big country music fan, right?
Yeah. I grew up on, Willie Nelson, On the Road Again, Johnny Cash, old country, big bands, jazz. I was exposed to a lot of different kinds of music.
Right. And it was a talent show in Laughlin, Nevada, right? Back in 2006 that sort of changed things for you a little bit.
Oh boy, did it ever. I went there singing rock and roll, and I got the nickname Denver because, it's just the way I look. So, but I wasn't doing a John Denver song. So they convinced me that I needed to do a John Denver song. So I also joined the country category. And then I ended up doing a John Denver song. I got a standing ovation, and I thought, hey, this is kind of working out. And then I met 2 guys. I actually won first place doing a John Denver song, and which I hadn't planned on doing. And I met 2 guys there. One was an engineer. The other guy was a pilot, and they were both friends with John Denver. And they said, man, you should think about doing a tribute show. You have a very similar voice, and the way you look, people would love it. So that's really where it began.
Wow. When was the first time you actually performed as John Denver on stage?
Well, I think a couple of years after the contest, I got a guitar, started learning the songs, and a friend of mine had a mutual friend who did an Elvis show. And so he said, hey, why don't you come and open for me, see how it goes? Just do like 3 or 4 songs.
Right.
Well, back then I was playing the tracks. I was still learning how to play the guitar. And I was starting to learn the songs, but I didn't feel confident just walking out on the stage. So at any rate, the crowd loved it. And I only did 3 or 4 songs. And so he said, well, next time you come back, bring your guitar and do like 6 or 7 songs. So that's kind of how it started, about 2008, and then it just took off like a rocket. I couldn't stop it. So Next thing you know, I'm getting a call from Steve Weisberg, who was John's lead player. 1973 to 77 in those
Right.
big touring years. And then we toured for about 4.5 years together all over the country. And
Yeah, I
he taught
remember
me.
him at Theater 3 with you. That was a great show with Steve Weisberg. I remember him being there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. He did perform there with me.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
We also have a question from a big John Denver fan. Her name is Beryl. She lives up in the mountains of Virginia. She's a huge John Denver fan, listens to John Denver every night. And she wants to know, did you ever meet John Denver in person?
You know, I did not. I wish I would have. I did meet his mother, Irma, and I got to sing for her. And that was very, very special. That was in Aspen. I did meet his brother, Ron, who had taken over Windstar, and also one of his uncles, Abe Dutchendorf. So
Right.
I did meet some of his family, but I did not actually get to meet John. I wish I would have.
Yeah, and they gave you some really good compliments too, right? I mean, they were very impressed with you in Aspen.
They were really happy because there's not a lot of people doing John Denver tribute shows around the country, say
Right.
like Elvis.
Right.
So it really pleases them when somebody honors their son and his legacy and does his music and keeps it alive so that people can still enjoy it.
Right. And Beryl also wanted to know her favorite song is Country Roads. She wanted to know if you could do a little bit of Country Roads for her.
Well, I sure can. And her name's Beryl.
Beryl, yeah.
All right. Are we doing it now?
You can do it whenever you're ready.
Okay. Well, let's get right down to it. All right, Beryl, here we go. From West Virginia, Almost Heaven. Almost heaven, West Virginia, these mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old and full of the trees, younger than the mountains, loving like the breeze. Everybody, country road, take me home to the place. I belong. West Virginia, my love, take me home, country road, take me home, down country roads.
So amazing. A Celebrity Spotlight exclusive. Thank you so much, Ted. You're fantastic.
I love it. So fun.
You guys, you're so fantastic. You're so great, my friend. Also, I wanted to ask you, working with Steve Weisberg, I'm sure he filled you in a lot about some of the inside information about John Denver. Tell us something about John Denver that most people don't know. Because I know you know pretty much everything about John Denver, I'm sure.
I got to hear a lot of really cool stories that John would not have said about himself because he wasn't the guy out there parading around bragging about himself. Steve told me that John was a very generous man, that when he flew the band on his big tours, a lot of times he would invite spouses and girlfriends and fly them first class and take care of their lodging and things. He was a very generous man. Also, he really promoted family, and Steve and his father were sort of, how should I say this? Old-fashioned to the sense of, you know, men are manly, men don't hug, men shake hands, you know, that kind of thing. And I actually grew up like that. My dad was like that, okay? You know, the macho man kind of thing. Well, John and Annie invited Steve and his folks up to their house to have dinner.
Oh, wow.
So here's Annie and John, and here's Steve and his parents. And they have dinner, and it's time for Steve's folks to go home.
Right.
And so, you know, the handshake, you know. Well, John and Annie hugged everybody and told them they loved them. So here's, you know, John and Annie hugging everybody. Oh, we love you guys. Great to see you. And then here's Steve and his dad. Well, my son, you know. So they shake hands, and Steve's dad goes down the driveway, hits the brakes, turns around, comes back. Steve, come here. I got to tell you something.
Right.
He grabs Steve around the neck and he pulls him in, gives him a kiss on the cheek, says, "Man, I love you." Gives him a big hug. And Steve said that was the biggest gift that John gave to him and his family. He taught
Wow.
him. So then his dad went home to Texas, where they were from,
Right.
and taught the other brothers how to hug and say I
Mhm.
love you. So it was a big gift. So there you have it. There's a little story about John and the way he affected people.
Amazing. Now, you said you worked with an Elvis tribute artist when you first started. And of course, John Denver was a huge Elvis fan, of course. And he worked with Joe Esposito, who was Elvis's manager. He had James Burton, right? And Jerry Sheff and Glenn Hardin. Are you a big Elvis fan?
Oh yeah. I love the rockabilly stuff, man. I just it's super fun music, very soulful, and I also do love the gospel stuff that Elvis did. Man, just all from the
Oh, yeah.
heart. Just amazing singer. And I feel that John Denver, the way he sings from his heart, you can feel every word. You know, it's just so much emotion in it. And I really believe that, you know, there's certain people in the world that can make you feel the song, not just hear it, but feel it.
Right.
And John Denver definitely, Elvis Presley definitely one of those people.
Yeah, they definitely had that in common for sure, 100%. And also, I got a question from Tom Payton, who's also listening to the show right now. He wants to know, do you enjoy performing? What John Denver's song do you enjoy performing the most and why?
Okay, my current favorite is actually a song called Love is the Master.
Hmm.
It's a beautiful song about going up into the mountains with his friends. They're on a horseback ride. They're telling stories around a campfire.
Mhm.
And the lyric I love the most is, "Today is the day that my life starts all over again."
Oh,
Such a
wow.
positive lyric. And the song's very uplifting. It's upbeat. So I would have to say that's probably one of my favorites. Although I have played some shows, the whole crowd, 500, 800, 1,000 people get on their feet and
Mhm.
sing at the top of their lungs. Take me
Wow.
home, country roads. It's an amazing.
One of my favorite songs that you do, and of course John did, was Prayers, Poems, and
Homes, prayers, and promises.
that's it.
Yeah,
Poems, Prayers, and Promises. One of my favorites. Can you do a little bit of that?
I'd love to. That's also one of my favorites.
Yeah,
When I
great
sing
song.
this song, it makes me think of some of my friends that have passed, but my memory of them is always going to be there. I've been lately thinking about my lifetime, all the things I've done, how it's been, and I can't help believing my own mind. You know I'm gonna hate to see it. I've seen a lot of sunshine, slept out in the rain, spent a night or two all on my own. I've known my lady's pleasures, had myself some friends, spent a night or two in my own home. I have to say it now, it's been a good life all alone. It's really fine to have a chance to hang around and lie there by the fire and watch the evening tire while all my friends and my old lady sit and pass the pipe around and talk of poems and prayers and promises and things that we believe in. How sweet it is to love someone, how right it is to care. How long it's been since yesterday. And what about tomorrow? What about our dreams and all the memories we share?
Home's Prayers, Promises right there. Great song, one of my favorite John Denver songs. And you do such a fantastic job with that all the time. I had another question from Alyssa. Wanted to know, did you ever meet Annie or Cassandra?
I did not get to meet Cassandra.
Mm-hmm.
I did get to meet Annie Denver very
Really?
briefly. We never spoke, but we were we were actually at the same party, which I was hired to play at.
Uh-huh.
And it was a birthday party actually in Aspen, Colorado.
Oh, wow.
And so I found out that Annie was there, and I was playing around the pool. And who else was at the party? Well, it was George Strait.
Oh, no kidding. Wow.
It was quite an amazing day.
Right, I would imagine.
I found out that one of her favorite songs is Perhaps Love. And so I did get to sing that for her. So
Oh, can you do a little bit of that? Could you do a little bit of that right now?
Sure.
Cool.
I think the poetry in this song is world class. John just had a way of describing love and the human condition. Perhaps love is like a resting place, a shelter from the storm. It exists to give you comfort. It is there to keep you warm. And in those times of trouble, when you are most alone, the melody of love will bring you home. Perhaps love is like a window, perhaps an open door. It invites you to come closer. It wants to show you more. And even if you lose yourself and don't know what to do, the memory of love will bring you through.
So awesome. You are fantastic, man. You sound so great. What is the most challenging John Denver song to perform on stage, would you say?
Well, I think it's kind of a toss-up between Calypso and
Calypso,
Eagles
another
and
great
Horses.
song. One great song after another John Denver had.
Yeah, and Eagles and Horses, I would say I just did a show at a casino that had a horse race track.
Oh, you're kidding. Wow.
It's something happened there where I really made a connection with the audience and horses, and it was magical. And people after the show said, "We don't know what happened, but during that song, something really special happened." And so the spirit of the song is just incredible. I really identify with it. Yeah.
So you also write your own music as well. Do you perform any of your own songs when you're performing? Like, will we hear any at Theater 3 at this upcoming show on July 6th?
Yeah, sometimes I play a song called "Sing My Songs" when I'm gone.
Cool.
It's a tribute to John and all the artists in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's a song about what it's like to be an artist on the road, and how important it is that when we pass through, that people sing our songs when we're gone. That's the name of the song. Sing My Songs when I'm gone.
Are any of your original songs available on CD or any music available anywhere that we can get some of your original stuff? Yeah,
and I just, this thing has really transformed me and helped me to become a better singer. I'm working on. I just did a instrumental CD with my fiddle player, and we did some of the top songs, just instrumental, guitar and fiddle.
Correct.
And then also I have online. Excuse me, I got a little frog in my throat. I have online a CD called "Sing My Songs," and people can get that online. And it has some original music on it as well.
Right. And I know it's always great about you too. When you come out to see Ted's shows, he always does a meet and greet after the show, so you get to meet Ted and you do a little signing, which is so awesome. You know, we always look forward to that.
Yeah, I think that's a very important part of of being a performer is connecting with people, and then people get to share their stories with me. Some people met John. Some people sat down and had a beer with him in a little pub. It's out in the middle of Montana or so. He was very personable, and he genuinely cared about people. So I try to. Well, I guess I'm kind of like that too, and so I really try to connect with people after the show and hear their stories. And I try to tell them, okay, try to keep it to a couple minutes because there's a lot of people. But I love to hear those stories. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know I always look forward to meeting you. Of course, I met John Denver at his very last Christmas tour at Westbury Music Fair, and I got to go backstage and take a picture with John and hang out with him a little bit, which was so cool. Now, when the holidays come around, do you ever do like a Christmas show? Like we do some Christmas songs as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love the Christmas shows, and I would probably say some of my favorite John Denver songs are Christmas shows. I do Christmas for Cowboys, Aspen Glow, Christmas Like a Lullaby. I mean, these are just beautiful songs. And, people remember when John Denver was on The Muppet Show.
Yes, absolutely.
He performed some of the songs and with the Muppets. So, I love the Christmas shows. And I do probably anywhere from 5 to 10 of those a year around the country.
Oh, wow. So cool. You have to bring that to Long Island, too. Come back for that. That would be awesome. Also, so many great stuff. Rocky Mountain High. Could you do a little Rocky Mountain High for us?
Oh, boy, can I. I identify with that song.
Such a great song.
I love the outdoors. I love everything about this song. Here we go. Let's take a trip to the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. We were born in the summer of his 27th year. Coming home to a place he'd never been before. He got destiny, I might say he was born again. I'd say he found the key for every door. When he first came to the mountains, his life was far away. On the road and hanging by a song. The string already broken and he doesn't really care. It keeps changing fast and it don't last for long. That's right. Oh, Rocky Mountain High. I've seen it rain fire in the sky. The shadow from the sky, somewhere the fire. Rocky Mountain High. Colorado, Rocky Mountain High. I've seen it rain fire in the sky. Wave around in my America. Rocky Mountain, Colorado. Rocky Mountain, Rocky Mountain High. Rocky Mountain High.
Amazing. Really great. You are so fantastic. Thank you so much, Ted, man. I really appreciate all the music, man. It's so good. And of course, John Denver did Oh God, of course, the movie with George Burns. Did you ever do any acting yourself or any stuff like that?
I love to act. In fact, when I was younger, before I started doing this tribute show, I did some Broadway stuff.
Nice.
Here in Olympia, Washington. There was a play called Putting on the Ritz, and there was some song and dance numbers. And so I actually sang in the same key as Judy Garland, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, in that show.
Oh, wow.
I did some dance stuff where we were actually getting flipped over, up on people's shoulders. I haven't done any of that for a long time. I really miss it. I had a group interested in doing this thing called Country Roads, and it was like a travel show, and would have me going around touring, doing clips
Right.
of cities, like different, kind of like Guy Fieri does with Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives. And
Yes, yes,
goes
yes.
to different cities and talks about that city and the restaurant. So I would do that, talk about the venue, and then a little bit about the city. So we had a little bit of interest in that. It was years ago, and then Honey Boo Boo beat us out. If you can believe that. They go, it's a great idea, but we need angst, we need drama, we want people fighting, and because that's what gets the ratings. So anyway, I don't know, but who knows? Who knows? Someday I might do some more acting. I would love to do that.
Yeah, I was a big fan of that movie, man. I love that movie. Oh God, that was so great. And John did such a great job acting in that movie with George Burns. Wonderful flick.
Oh yeah, I just watched it recently again.
Oh really?
I've
Wow.
been watching that, and I love that. Oh, perfect. What a perfect pair between George Burns and John Denver.
Absolutely. And also, you mentioned the Muppets. Of course, everybody remembers that. And of course, one of my other favorites was when he did that duet with Johnny Cash of Country Roads.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was so great. I believe that was a Johnny Cash show when that went down, but it was such a great duet between Johnny Cash and John Denver. Oh man, such good stuff.
Yeah, and I recently I've been YouTubing a lot of stuff, and he also sang with Glenn Campbell, of course, Mama Cass.
Oh yeah, Mama Cass.
Yeah, with Leaving on a Jet Plane, and then who else was I thinking of? Of course, Olivia Newton-John.
Right.
I mean, my goodness.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, beautiful song.
Wow.
I have every one of those.
Yeah, you do so much touring. How many shows a year do you do? I mean, you're always on the road. I know every time I talk to you, you're here, you're there, you're everywhere.
Yeah, I do. I'm going to say anywhere from 100 to 120 shows a year, depending on the year. And this last year, this year, 2024, I set my record. So I did 7 shows in 6 days in 3 different states. And it was amazing. My wife said, "Honey, be careful. Don't blow your voice out." But the last show was the very best. That was the one at that casino with the horses. And so I probably, I work weekends, pretty much. I'm busy.
Yeah. I mean, I check out your Facebook page a lot. You always look like you're having fun though, wherever you are. So you seem like you enjoy the traveling for sure.
I love it. People say, "Gosh, I can't stand getting on an airplane." I don't know how you do it. But I meet so many cool people in airports, and I've gotten a lot of gigs in airports. I dress up, people are like, "Oh my gosh, it's John Denver!" What the?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, "Oh, here's my card." I ended up in Alaska. I met these folks in the airport in Seattle. They were heading back home to Sitka is where they're from. And I ended up doing a show there at their Performing Arts Center in Sitka a couple years later.
Amazing. I said it must be hard for you to walk through an airport, man. I mean, everybody recognizes you as John Denver.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's cool.
Wow. Well, can you give us another song? You pick it.
Okay. All right. I think as I get a little older, I start to enjoy the simple things in life.
Yeah.
I used to play Back Home Again pretty fast. There's a storm across the valley, clouds rolling. But lately, after watching John and really trying to dial into the heart, I slowed it down and it sounds so much better. There's a storm across the valley, clouds are rolling. The afternoon is heavy on your shoulders. There's a truck out on the four lane, a mile on the roadway. And the winding of these wheels just makes it colder. He's an hour away on your prayers up in the sky, and 10 days on the road are barely gone. There's a fire softly burning, and supper's on the stove, but it's the light in your eyes that keeps me warm. Alright, sing it with me. It's good to be back home again.
Great.
Sometimes it's so far, feels like a long lost friend. Yes, and hey, it's good to be back home again.
There you go.
I said, hey, it's so good to be back home again. That's right.
Wow, so awesome. Ted Vigil right there. Legendary. World's leading John Denver tribute artist right there. So great. Thank you so much. Well, theater3.com. Tickets still available. A few tickets still available. A few good seats. So make sure you go to theater3.com to pick up those tickets. It's July 6th. Ted Vigil at Theater 3, Port Jeff, Long Island. We're looking forward to the show. I can't wait to see you again. It's about, I don't know, maybe the fourth time I'm coming out to see the show. And you are always so fantastic. I always have such a great time. Always get to hang out with you after the show a little bit, which is so awesome. And so we're really looking forward to it. And before you go, could you just do a little bit of Annie for us?
A little bit
Annie
of
song?
Annie, okay.
A little bit of Annie song.
For all you lovers, you feel a place inside, like a dance in the fields, like the mountains in the spring tide, like a lump in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a stick in the ocean. You fill up my senses until the end.
Annie song right there. Ted Vigil. So awesome, man. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to see you July 6th. Theater 3, the Ted Vigil show. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a sellout for sure. I'm sure it's almost sold out already, I'm sure, especially after this show. So, but we're looking forward to it so much. Thank you so much for coming on the show again. I really appreciate it, Ted. Thank you so much.
Right on. Great to talk with you, Jimmy.
Great to talk to you again, too. We'll see you, man. See you on July 6th, Saturday, man. Have a great week. Okay, have a great weekend. Bye-bye. All right, the world's leading John Denver tribute artist right there. That's Ted Vigil. Theater3.com. Pick up your tickets to go see him. It's going to be a fantastic show. Always a fantastic show. Every time Ted comes to town, it is absolutely an unbelievable show. And also I want to thank Dean Butler from Little House on the Prairie. Of course, he's Almanzo. He was here yesterday, and he joined us here on Celebrity Spotlight, and he wanted to let you know that you can pick up a signed copy of his book over at booksoup.com. Okay, booksoup.com. He signed plenty of books, so they're available at booksoup.com. A little record store out there in the heart of Los Angeles and Hollywood, but you can go to booksoup.com and they'll send you a copy to your home. And he signed a lot of them, so go pick up your signed copy of Dean Butler's Prairie Man, My Life, on Little House and beyond. So it's also going to be available on Amazon and where books are sold on June 25th. So make sure you pick up a copy of that Dean Butler's book. And again, thank you, Ted Vigil. Be sure to check him out on Long Island, Port Jeff, July 6th, theater3.com. It's a great theater, a great show, so be sure to go out and check out Ted Vigil. Coming up on Celebrity Spotlight on Monday, country recording artist Lee Newton's going to be here. good friend of mine. Third time she's going to be doing Celebrity Spotlight. She's always has so much going on. She's taking Nashville and country music by storm. She's becoming a tremendous star. She opened up for Randy Travis just recently, and she opens up for a lot of big stars. I know she's working with Sarah Evans. So we'll find out all about that. We'll talk to Lee Newton on Monday. So I'm looking forward to that. Sandy Hall is also going to be here on Celebrity Spotlight. She's a heart tribute artist. She is absolutely fantastic. And Hollywood actress Rachel Whittle, who is currently working on a movie with Eric Roberts, and I think that's coming out soon. So we'll find out all about that with actress Rachel Whittle. And I want to thank everybody for listening to the show. Beryl, my friend out there in Virginia, and her father, Michael, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the John Denver show. I know you're a huge John Denver fan. Thank you so much. Cindy in Lake Ronkonkoma. We have Tom Payton, who listens to the show all the time. Thank you so much, Tom. Trisha in Sun City, Florida. My mom in Brooklyn, who listens to the show all the time. Thank you, Mom. And so many people that listen to us every week. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And we will see you Monday with Lee Newton, country superstar. She will be here once again on Celebrity Spotlight. It's going to be a good time. Everybody have a great week and a great weekend. And we will check you out on Monday night, 7 o'clock. That's 7 Eastern time, 4 p.m. Pacific time out there in Los Angeles. And I believe 6 p.m. Out there Central time in Tennessee and all those great, wonderful states. So we'll see you on Monday. Everybody have a great night. Bye-bye.